Hello all, my name is Krish Nayak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, in this video, we are going to discuss about BentoML, which is a unified AI application framework, and what exactly it is useful for. It will actually help you to probably build an amazing AI application in such a way that you'll also be able to deploy it in the production. In short, if I probably just talk about a simple definition, BentoML is a platform for software engineers to build AI products. Now we will be talking more about it, but let me just give you a brief idea what exactly we'll be able to do with BentoML. I hope you have seen a lot of end-to-end projects in my playlist, right? End-to-end data science projects with deployment, where we have specifically discussed about data ingestion to data transformation to model building to model deployment, right? All the steps are there and we usually create in the form of pipelines. Now let's say that once we train our model, then the additional steps that we probably do in order to use that specific model is that we may probably create APIs, we may probably create, or we may try to integrate with a web application, right? It can be through Flask, it can be through Streamlit, it can be through different libraries. Now on all these things, you really need to do some additional work. Let's say with respect to Dockerization also, if you want to probably deploy a specific AI product or AI application into the cloud, you may also have to do Dockerization, right? So all these steps you specifically do separately. What if now you have an open source library like BentoML, which will actually help you to perform all this task just with some simple lines of code? Yes, now it is possible. So guys, now it's time. Now ML Ops is advancing and you should definitely know all these techniques. Now in this video, I will probably show you an example with respect to BentoML. We will be seeing some examples. I'll show you a practical application. I will probably train a specific model and show you that how we can specifically use BentoML. Now, before I go ahead, if you are new to this channel, please make sure that you subscribe the channel, because now I'm focusing more on MLOps also. A lot of things are going to come up, which will actually help you to become a better data scientist. Now here I'm going to share my screen. And first of all, we'll discuss about what is BentoML and what all things you can specifically do. Here is a quick definition. You can definitely check out this documentation from BentoML itself. It is a unified AI application framework for building reliable, scalable, and cost efficient. Okay. Who is BentoML for? It is designed for teams to bring machine learning models into production in a reliable and scalable way. Because see, this is an open source library, which will actually help you to perform most of the tasks which is required to push your model to the production. And how it is, I will just let you know in some time. So you'll be able to build application with any AI models. It supports multiple libraries. It's not like only with scikit-learn and all. You can use PyTorch, TensorFlow, Keras, scikit-learn, XGBoost, CatBoost. Along with this, now it is also supporting LLM models and all, right? Today in this video, I'm just going to show you one example with scikit-learn, but as we go ahead, I will also show you example with LLM models, okay? And this is one super important functionality with respect to BentoML. The inference optimization for AI application. Let's say that you are creating an API with Flask or anything, right? There, you really need to write a lot of line of code for the optimizing the request that you're given to a model. But with respect to BentoML, it will automatically be able to give you an optimized way for your specific AI application, right? Whatever models you are probably integrating with, if you're probably following the right kind of framework with respect to BentoML, with respect to some code, which I will be showing you, then automatically you'll be able to do this. Now, it also has some properties like build once, deploy anywhere. So you just need to build once, and over here, you basically called it as Bentos, okay? So Bentos is a kind of a build file with respect to this BentoML tool, which will actually help you to deploy in any kind of cloud also, okay? How does BentoML work? Here you'll be able to see it. I'll just show you an example. First of all, we need to define a model. We need to save a model. We need to create a service, right? This service will be responsible in optimizing the inferences, right? The ML service that is basically there. And then you finally build a Bento and then you deploy a Bento. So all these things I will show you in a form of an example, a practical example. And then we will try to see that how automatically it creates APIs, Swagger API and everything for you. Okay. So let me go ahead and let me quickly open one folder. So here, first of all, I'm probably going to go ahead and open a VS Code. Okay, so this is my VS Code and we will go step by step. You'll be able to see that how I will be executing it and all, right? Now, the first thing that I'm actually going to do over here is that let me just go ahead and open the terminal. So I will just go ahead and open the terminal. So this will be my new terminal. Okay, let me close this up. Terminal, fine. Now the first step that with respect to the terminal is that I will try to create an environment. So for this I will say conda, and right now it is PowerShell. I will probably work in the command prompt. So let me just go ahead step by step. Please follow along with me. Obviously I'll be giving you the GitHub code, but this will be super important because I'm doing it completely from scratch, creating an environment, following each and every steps, right? So here what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to write conda create -p venv, right? And here I'm basically going to write Python version, right? With respect to BentoML, make sure that your Python version is greater than 3.8. Okay, so here I'm going to write 3.9, and here I will just go ahead and write -y. That basically means it will now create me an environment in the name of venv. So if you probably go ahead and see this over here and just refresh it. Okay, let me refresh it. So this venv environment will get created. Now till the environment is getting created, I also want to make sure that I create a requirement.txt. And for this, I will just try to build a model with the help of scikit-learn, right? So some of the libraries I'll install it. Now which all libraries I definitely want for this particular problem statement, that is what I'm actually going to discuss over here. As I said that I'm going to use BentoML, right? So first of all, I will just go ahead and write BentoML. Now with respect to BentoML, currently, if you probably go and see the PyPy page, the version that is currently, which is a recent version, it is nothing but 1.0.25, right? So this is the version you will be able to see in the BentoML PyPy page also. So if you probably go ahead and search it in the Google itself with respect to the BentoML, you will be able to get it. So here I'm going to use this. Along with this, I'm also going to install scikit-learn because I'm going to first of all create my model with the help of scikit-learn. So this is done. Now here what I'm going to do, you can see that already my environment has been created within this specific folder. I'm going to activate this environment. So let me go ahead and write conda activate venv, right? So this is the environment that I'm actually going to use. Okay. Now the first thing I will go ahead and do it is pip install -r requirement.txt. Now once I probably do this installation, all this requirement.txt will get installed in the same venv folder, venv location itself. And right now I'm just installing BentoML and scikit-learn. So here you can see that all the necessary dependencies, all the libraries will probably get installed along with this, right? Now this is my step. Let this get completed and then we will continue with the next step. Okay. Now in the next step, what I will do is that, see guys, as I said, in an end-to-end project, you can definitely use BentoML very much easily. If I talk about end-to-end project, we develop a lot of things like data ingestion, data transformation. I probably create a model trainer, model deployment and all, right? But where exactly this can specifically used? Specifically when you do the model training, right? There also this thing can be used with respect to the BentoML. And then I can also use this in our main app.py file, which will basically do the prediction. Okay. So everything I will try to show it to you in this specific video. Now the first thing what I will do here, I will just go ahead and create my train.py file. Okay. So let's consider that this is my .py file with respect to train. And here is what I'm going to probably do the training, right? So first of all, I'm going to just copy and paste some of the code over here and you will probably get an idea what we are going to do over here. Okay. So here you can basically see, let me just go ahead and explain it. Till then I'll go ahead and clear my screen. All the installation has been done. Now, first of all, I'm going to import the BentoML. Here we are going to use SVM, right? Support vector machines. And the dataset I'm importing from sklearn.dataset. I hope everybody is familiar with iris dataset. So here I'm loading the iris dataset. And iris.data will be my independent feature and the target will basically be my dependent feature. I'm not done any train test plate because I quickly want to show you how BentoML works and how quickly you'll be able to get the APIs and all. Super important guys, crucial. Please make sure that you watch this video till the end. It will be super beneficial for you. Remember all these things, I'm trying to connect all the dots in all my end-to-end projects, whatever we are building, right? Then we are going to train the model by just writing svm.svc, gamma as scale, and then we are doing the fit on x, y, right? So once we do, my model is ready. Okay, I did not do train test plate, nothing as such. I'm just trying to do the fit so that I show you an example with respect to BentoML. Then finally, we save this model to the BentoML local model store. So whenever we are working with BentoML, as soon as we do the installation, it will probably create a local repository in some drive. I will show you that drive also. And in that specific drive, you go ahead and save this particular classifier. Okay. In order to save it, you just write BentoML, bentoml.sklearn dot save model, and I'm just giving this name of my classifier, that is this CLF, right? So this will what it will get saved with, and over there obviously we will be also able to see some type of versioning that will be done on this specific model. Okay, now this is the code for the entire training, right? And now using BentoML, when we save this, BentoML will save it in some kind of format. Okay, and we will see that specific format. So here I will go and write python train.py. Now when I say python train.py, it is going to run this entire file, right? Now you will be seeing that the entire fit will happen, and now this is my model with this particular tag. Okay, so here you can see model saved and saved model. Saved model is in basically in this format, iris CLF with this tag. Okay, so what I will do, I will keep this tag ready so that I will be able to do the inferencing. Okay, inferencing. Great. Now let me do one thing. I have already trained one model, that is iris CLF, and before that also I've tried multiple models. So this also handles different version of models. Let's say if I execute it, again this tag will change, and we will be also able to retrieve those tags by using the CLF latest command. I will show you. So here, if I go ahead and write BentoML models list, okay, if I write this command, you can see this command over here, BentoML models list, it will give you all the list of models. And right now you have this model, right? ILF WG, this one is the latest. Today only I have trained it at 9:42, right? 9:42 PM. It is right now in my local machine, right? So this is what, and before I had trained all these particular models, right? I have even tried it out with TensorFlow and all. It works absolutely fine. Okay. So this is how we probably save a model. So how this BentoML is able to make it track of all this model? It is storing it in some local model store. Where do I find this particular model store? That also I will try to show it to you. Go to C drive, right? And probably if you go in users, whatever users you have, you'll find over here something called as BentoML. Let me just show you, right? So here you have a BentoML folder, right? Now if I probably go and see with respect to models, see in CLF, you have all the specific models, and this is the recent model. You have this pickle file. You can see over here, you have this pickle file, you have this YAML file that is getting created in one location. And this location is nothing but, this is your BentoML local model store. It will be in the by default in the C drive that will get created. Okay. So I hope you are able to understand till over here. Now the question rises, Krish, how will be able to read this particular model and do some kind of prediction? So for this also, I will show you one example. I will create one test.py file. Okay. And now in this particular test.py file, I will just go ahead and run this. Now see, for doing this, what I do. So here I'm going to again import BentoML, and I'm saying bentoml.sklearn.get iris underscore CLF dot underscore colon latest. This basically indicates that I'm going to get the latest model with the name of iris underscore CLF. So out of these models that we have, right, I'm probably going to see, if I probably go ahead and write models list, I'm probably going to get this latest model. This is my latest model, right? And here I'll be getting this, and we basically convert this into a runner, which will be nothing but it will be indicated as a specific model. And then we do this init local. And whenever we use this model and do .predict.run and give the inputs over here, it will do the prediction. Now in order to test this, what I will again do, I will write Python test.py. Super important, guys. See, some people, you'll not understand the importance of this, but this will definitely be used because it is an open source platform, right? So here you'll be able to see 2 is the output. That basically means it is classifying as 2. Okay. Now this is fine. Your model is basically created and all, everything is happening perfectly fine. But still we did not understand that how BentoML will actually help us to create APIs, Swagger UI, where you'll be able to see all the APIs itself. right? For that, you really need to write a lot of lines of code. Specifically, if I consider Flask, you need to create APIs, you need to probably write a post request, get request, everything as such. But in BentoML, you don't have to worry that much about it. So what we will do in the next step, in order to make sure that you get an optimized model inferencing, you have to probably create one important file, which is called as service.py. Okay. Now in service.py, what is basically required? In service.py, I will just copy some line of code. Now you will be understanding, and this will be the most important file. Trust me guys, this will be the most important file. Now service.py will be responsible in creating your entire APIs. Along with that, it will also be super important because it will actually help you to create your Swagger UI also. And how it is doing? Again, by using this BentoML. So here, please let us know line by line what is things are happening over here. So first of all, I'm importing NumPy, I'm importing BentoML, and then from BentoML.io, we are importing NumPy ND array, right? So NumPy, this is just like a wrapper on top of NumPy, okay? NumPy library itself. Then here, you know this code basically gets the latest model with respect to iris_clf. Then you are basically writing BentoML.service, iris classifier, okay? You are basically creating a service with this name, iris_classifier, and you are using the runners, which will be nothing but the same model runner over here. Now this will be super important, guys. This runner is specifically to one model. Let's say you have 3 to 4 models. One model is basically doing data transformation. It can be a categorical transformation that is related to categorical variables and all. So that all models you can probably write line by line, right? Based on the ordering. Let's say first I have one model which will be responsible in converting the categorical features into numerical features. I will first of all go ahead with that. And finally, I will probably go ahead with iris_clf_runner, which will be my final model. So any number of models can be given over here in the form of list. Okay. That is how super important this is. Okay. Now, this is the most important code. This code, this decorator, right? .api. SVC is nothing but my service model name, right? Over here, you will be able to see this service model name. This .api. So this is responsible in creating the entire APIs. So here I am basically using input as NumPy ND array and output as a NumPy ND array. And then we basically create one function like how we create in Flask. So here we are basically writing classify. It is in this API, it is saying the input will also be a NumPy array and the output will also be given as a NumPy array. So here again in classify, we are basically using a parameter input series, which will be np.nd array, n dimension array, and it will also return a n dimension array. And then here we are basically writing .predict.run with respect to the input series. Now input series, how many parameters you will be giving? 4 features will be giving, right? Because in iris we have sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width. Now done, this is done with respect to the service.py. Now what we are basically going to do, in order, we need to run this service.py file, right? We need to run this. Then only it will probably be able to create an API for you. So what I'm going to do over here, in order to run this, I have to use a command. So again, for using the command to run this service.py, I will write BentoML serve, okay, service.py. I have to probably also write the name of which service I want to run. So this will be SVC, okay, and then I will write reload. So this, you can probably reload any number of times based on the number of changes that are basically happening. Now see the power of this. See the power, guys. This is super important. See the power. Once I execute it, it will now give me an API. And the API will basically be, I'll provide the allow access over here. Okay. Now the API is basically running on 0.0.0:3000. So what I'm actually going to do over here is that I'm going to open a browser. Okay. And going to write 127 or localhost. I can write localhost 3000 and execute it. Now see, this is my entire swagger.ui, which will provide you all the information, right? If you remember /classify, it takes a NumPy ND array and gives a NumPy ND array. From where it is basically coming from this specific service itself, right? So here is my input with respect to NumPy ND array and the output is also NumPy ND array. Like this, I can create any number of APIs, right? Now this particular API is for the prediction. The another API can be for something else, right? So here you will be able to see this, and this is what is basically getting created over here. And by default, this swagger.ui, so swagger UI is basically given from this particular BentoML. Now let us test it. So here in this classify, what it says, request body is in the form of application JSON, and here you will be basically getting some kind of output. Let's try it out. Now for trying it out, what I will do, I will try to create this in this format. Let's say I need to give 4 parameters. So I will write 1, comma 2.3, comma 4.2, comma 1.0. Okay. So these are the 4 parameters that I'm going to give. Let's say this is my petal length, petal width, sepal length, and sepal width. If I go ahead and execute it, you will be able to see the output that I'm actually getting is response body as 1. So this basically indicates that out of the 3 files, whichever is in the first category, I'll be getting that as an output, right? So in iris flower dataset, you have 3 different kind of flowers, right? So all those flowers, it is basically indicating like what output you're probably getting, right? So that is what I hope everybody knows about iris flowers dataset, right? So there you have 3 categories, right? Versicolor, setosa, all those things, right? And based on that, you are probably getting any category. Now, not only this, now this Swagger UI you can also use for Postman. So if I go and execute with respect to Postman and open it over here. So guys, once you have the Postman, so what I will do, I will give a post request. Here I will write my URL 0.0.1 and here will be :3000/classify. Okay. Now with respect to this particular Postman, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to basically write body. Go ahead and select JSON. And then again in this, I'm going to take the same parameter and post it over here, right? So here I will just go ahead and paste it, right? Now what we are basically doing, we are doing a post request in this specific API, and this is the input that is basically sent. Now if I go ahead and click on send, you will be able to see that I'm also getting the output as 1. Now this is quite amazing because automatically just by writing 4 lines of code, right? This 4 lines of code, what you have done is that you are able to create this entire Swagger APIs, all the services API itself. Now like this, you can probably create any number of APIs, right? Along with this, some generic information like health, right? Redis, metrics, all this information is also given with respect to this particular application. This is quite amazing. I did not have to even write much lines of code. Before, yes, if I really want to do this manually, I have to use Flask, I may have to use Swagger UI, probably create all these specific services. But now, just with the help of this, you are able to see that how quickly we are able to do it. Okay. And this is how powerful it is with respect to this, right? Now this is done. Once you are able to do this, the next step is with respect to the BentoML. Okay. BentoML build. Okay. Now this is fine. I will just cancel this. Let me just go ahead and see this and cancel this application. Or let me just go ahead and create a new command prompt. Okay. Now the next step, what we are basically going to do is that now this is fine, guys. See, everything is fine over here. You have this entire applications you are able to see, but this is fine for your local machine. Okay. But if I probably say with respect to BentoML, still we need to package this entire solution so that we'll be able to send this for the deployment purpose. Yes, I hope everybody agrees with that. So for that, what all steps we really need to do? Okay, because we need to build this entire Bento. Okay, we basically say if I really want to package this entirely, we really need to create something called as Bento. Now this Bento will have all the information about all our code, all our packages and all, so that we can pick it up and probably do the deployment anywhere. Okay, so for this, what I will do is that we have to probably create one more file, which is called as bento file.yaml. Okay. Now this is a super important file. The naming convention should be like this, because when we are executing BentoML build, okay, Bento build, right, it is going to package this entire thing, this entire application, so that we can actually do the seamless production deployment. Okay, so Bento file ML I'm basically going to use, and here also what we are going to write, we are going to basically give this type of code. Okay, so here we are basically going to write some key value pairs. First of all, going ahead with the service, it is basically going to say that which service we are basically going to hit. It is probably from the service.py file, and the service name is SVC. Labels, owner and project, this you can probably write it with your own whatever things you basically want to write. And with respect to this entire project, I'm going to include all my .py file because those are important. Okay. And then finally, we are basically going to write Python packages. In packages, whatever will be there in the requirement.txt, like scikit-learn or pandas, we are going to mention it over here. Okay. Now, once this is done, once this BentoML is done, the next command that we specifically write is BentoML build. Now, as soon as I write BentoML build, it is probably going to look for bento file.yaml. It is going to see the service file wherever it is. It is going to create a package which includes all this py file, service.py, test.py, train.py, and it is also going to consider this scikit-learn, pandas, everything, right? And then it is going to create a BentoML package. Okay. So once I execute this, this will probably take some time. Okay. Based on the type of application, based on number of libraries, based on the size of the libraries. So we will wait till this entire step has happened. Okay. So guys, finally here you can see that build has happened. Okay. And now you'll be able to see that successfully built bento with this particular tag is there. Okay. You can even containerize your BentoML with this containerizer with the help of Dockers. You can also do that. Okay. But right now we'll just focus on this and we'll try to run this. Okay. Now quickly, what I'm actually going to do is that, first of all, after doing this, I can also see all my bento. So if you probably go ahead and write BentoML list. Okay. So if I go ahead and search for BentoML list, you'll be able to see how many bentos I have probably built. Okay. So here you can probably see that this is built over here. Okay. And this is of this many MB. And this is what we are specifically going to use it for the deployment purpose. Okay. So if I go again back to my folder location, and if I probably see with this name, here you will be able to see in BentoML, there is something called as Bentos. Okay. Now this Bentos will basically have this entire information. See, this is the entire package based on this ML file. In the source, automatically it will add service.py, test.py, train.py. In the environment, it will basically use Docker, whatever Docker is basically required. With respect to this Python requirement.txt, for Linux, this shell script, everything will be basically written. So in short, we are able to make this entire package. And this is what super amazing it is. With respect to all these things, you are able to create this entire project folder location itself. Now what you can do is that you can take this and you can actually do the deployment in any kind of clouds that you specifically want. But definitely a very good added advantage of specifically using BentoML, right? And I can even run this with respect to, again, checking out whether everything is working fine or not with respect to this also, right? Now, this is how you can probably use BentoML. You can further use this command and actually Dockerize it. I've already done that, okay? But I'll leave it to you. Please make sure that you have Docker desktop to check it out. So here you'll be able to see I've also created all these things. If you go and see in the containers, one of the containers is with respect to this particular thing also. I've also created the images, right? So here was my image, iris classifier. And after creating that also, you can also run it from the Docker. How good that is, right? So definitely check out BentoML, guys. BentoML is a very handy. The documentation with respect to BentoML is over here. Now what I'm actually going to do further, when I use any kind of end-to-end project, I will definitely show you BentoML and how quickly you can basically do this. So if you want to probably see this documentation, where all it is very important and how you can probably go ahead with it, everything, you will be able to see it over here. So I hope you like this particular video. This was it from my side. I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you, one all. Take care. Bye-bye.